If you're looking for a new barbell for your home gym, I've got it for you. I've got in front of me the Living Fit barbells, and I've got the Cerakote here. Down here, I have the chrome version as well. I'm gonna show you both of those. Now, this barbell, in summary, very cost effective, performs well over a variety of lifts, and can be used as your overall hybrid bar. Now, for me to compare this properly, I have my Alico weightlifting bar here, my IWF weightlifting bar to compare it to for weightlifting. For other references, I'll use a Rogo Higher bar as another example, and more powerlifting style bars. Now, typically with the hybrid bar, they tend to fall across the spectrum. A hybrid bar is not just directly in the middle, hey, it's a hybrid powerlifting weightlifting bar. A lot of them fall into either end of the spectrum, being more towards, say, a weightlifting style hybrid or multi-purpose barbell, or they fall more towards a powerlifting style barbell. Now, these Living Fit bars, I would place more towards the weightlifting side of a hybrid barbell. So if you are doing more CrossFit style movements, you're doing more Olympic weightlifting style movements in your home gym, then this will suit perfectly. If you are geared more towards powerlifting and pure strength training, there may be better options for you to use, and I'm gonna run through why. So I'm gonna cover off all the usual things you need to know about a barbell, give you some close-ups, some B-roll footage of it being used, but we're gonna cover things like knurling, spin, whip, coating, durability, performance on certain lifts, and then how it stacks up compared to other bars. So let me start with the knurling. So the knurling they've used is actually IWF standard. I'm gonna give you some close-ups of it now. One thing that you will not find in any of the product descriptions or probably any other reviews online is how the knurling fits closer to this middle section. Now, you don't have a center knurling, but what you do have is you have a fading knurling into the middle. So what you have here is this fading knurling. You might not be able to see it on the camera here, but as you get here, it gets soft. The knurling gets softer as you get here. So there's virtually no knurling once you get into that middle section here. So if you have a very close, say, deadlift grip or clean grip as an example, this may not be suitable for you because that knurling really fades as it comes in here versus a little further out where it's nice and sharp. Now, the knurling is very similar to an Alico barbell knurling. I will say it's not as dense feeling, but it is just as sharp. It's the same depth and everything. So you're gonna get a similar feeling regarding that. Now, in terms of the coating, this is the Cerakote, and we also have the chrome coated barbell. Now, in terms of the feel, the Cerakote bar actually feels grippier with that knurling versus the chrome. The chrome obviously comes a little oily when it arrives to you through shipping. That's just normal with most barbells. So with use, that wears down. But the Cerakote does feel a little grippier when you're using it versus the chrome version. The one downside though with Cerakote is on the sleeves, as you start to load plates, and I haven't even loaded that much on here, the Cerakote starts to wear off, and you can see that already with the sleeves and the wear on them. And then when we look at a multi-purpose bar, we have two rings, which is the weightlifting rings and the powerlifting rings. So it means you're able to get your hand spacing correct, whichever lifts you're doing. So you basically have a all-in-one multi-purpose bar for your powerlifting and weightlifting movements. So you're sorted in that regard. Now, I will say these are a little more suited to weightlifting versus powerlifting, and that's mainly because of they use needle bearings in their sleeves, which means you get a little more spin than you would versus something that uses bushing bearings. So if you compare this to a Rogo Higher bar as an example, I would say the Rogo Higher bar would be a multi-purpose bar geared more towards the powerlifting side. And that's mainly because their knurling's quite rough, but their sleeves don't rotate. A brand new bar will rotate a bit, but after a while, those things get stuck and you can barely even do Olympic lifts on them because it's almost like the sleeves are welded on there. So that will be more geared towards powerlifting where you don't want as much spin. These will give you a lot of spin, and I'll show you as I compare the spin of a Living Fit barbell to an Alico weightlifting bar. And obviously our Alico weightlifting bar is designed to spin because it's designed purely for Olympic weightlifting movements. And you can see a slight difference in the spin where the Living Fit doesn't spin as fast or as much, but still has quite a bit of spin compared to a pure powerlifting or even some of those other hybrid bars more towards the powerlifting side. Now, the shaft diameter as well is also suited to weightlifting because it's 28 millimeters. Many hybrid or multi-purpose barbells have a shaft diameter of 28.5 millimeters. Now, 0.5 millimeters sounds like nothing, but you feel the difference instantly when you're doing it. A powerlifting bar is 29 millimeters. So a hybrid bar is usually in between, but you get many hybrid or multi-purpose bars that set at this 28 millimeters as well. I prefer 28 millimeters. But your like Rogo Higher bars, as an example, will be 28.5 millimeters. So just bear that in mind, depending on your personal preference and what you're doing with the lifts. Regarding the whip, obviously the Eleiko weightlifting bar has a little more whip than this. This is a little stiffer. Again, it is a hybrid bar, so it should be a little stiffer. You have 200K tensile, PSI tensile strength on these, which is very high considering the price. So you're actually getting a pretty high quality bar. And again, that tensile strength is just indicating how much force it can handle before it starts to deform. Considering an Eleiko bar is about 215K PSI, you're getting a pretty good deal on these. Outside of that, when we compare on price, I honestly don't think you can beat what this Living Fit has. This is probably one of the better home gym barbells. And as a budget barbell, it is easily the best option out of all the budget options. The chrome version is only $200, which is pretty nuts considering you can buy some pretty crappy barbells for around that price. And these are well worth, or worth more than 200 in my opinion. The Cerakote will set you back a little more because of the coating. It's about 270, but it just depends on what you're after with your bar. If you're looking for something with a little more grip to it, the Cerakote is nice. So for my upper body lifts, for example, because I like to false grip some of my benches, I will use the Cerakote bar because I know it's not going to slip out of my hands, whereas the chrome one I can use for Olympic lifts and things like that too. If you have any questions on these bars that I didn't address, put them down in the comments and I'll help you out. Also, all the links will be down in the description as well if you want to pick one of these up. There's also a discount code in there too, so you can get them even cheaper for under $200. But if there's any more equipment you want me to review, let me know and I'll see you in the next video.